Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Alexis Trebek, and welcome to Jeopardy! Our contestants tonight are number 1, Jenny Wright, number 2, Connie Buckland, and number 3, Carla Tabor. Welcome, Jenny. Tell us a little bit about yourself and where you teach.
I teach at Hinton Area Elementary, Alexis. This is my 3rd year as a reading teacher, and I am thrilled to be here.
Nice to have you, Jenny.
Thank you.
And Connie, please introduce yourself.
Alexis, I also teach in Hinton area, and this is my 2nd year as a reading teacher, even though I've been teaching for 28 years in the profession. And I'm excited to be here, too.
Well, it's nice to have you this evening, Connie. And Carla, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I teach at Hinton area with Jenny and Connie. I'm the reading coach and have been for about 10 years, and I have 30 years experience in teaching.
Well, welcome, ladies. We're going to go ahead and get started with our game. Our categories tonight are students, pedagogy, research, public opinion, assessment, and accountability. And Miss Carla, you have won our coin toss, and we're going to start with you this evening, Carla.
Okay, I would like students for 100, please.
Student for 100. Who are English language learners? Carla.
Who are immigrants acquiring English as their second language?
That is correct, Carla.
I would like students for 200, please, Alexis.
Students for 200. What is limited English proficiency? Connie.
What is those who come from language backgrounds other than English and whose difficulty in understanding, speaking, and writing English would prove to be difficult in the mainstream?
That is correct. Connie, would you please choose our next question?
I choose pedagogy for 100.
Pedagogy for 100. How do native language teaching help ELLs acquire English? Jenny.
Studies have shown that ELLs who receive more native language instruction in well-implemented bilingual programs typically learn more academic English than those in all other programs.
That is correct, Jenny.
I would like to choose, Alexis, research for 100.
Research for 100.
Our question there.
Are all bilingual program models equally effective? Carla.
No, they are not. Research findings have been more positive for developmental bilingual education other than transitional bilingual education.
That is correct, Carla.
Oh, I would like research for 200, please, Alexis.
Research for 200. Are dual language programs the most effective? Connie.
Yes, promising results have been reported for dual language or two-way bilingual programs. They are designed to cultivate bilingualism among each English proficient and limited English proficient students.
That is correct, Connie.
I would like public opinion for 100, please.
Public opinion for 100. Why did the English for Children initiatives pass? Carla.
What is, most people thought they were voting for English, and voters mostly agreed that if you live in America, you need to speak English.
That is correct, Carla.
Oh, I'm sorry. I would like public opinion for 200, please, Alexis.
Public opinion for 200. Does the federal government mandate bilingual education? Connie.
What is no? For a time during the late 1970s, the U.S. Department of Ed required each school district that had ELLs that they needed to adopt a bilingual education part of an overall remedy for civil rights violation.
That is correct. Please choose.
Oh, I would like pedagogy for 200.
Pedagogy for 200. Does it help ELLs to practice speaking English as much as possible? Jenny.
No, students often are very quiet during the process and will begin to speak in full sentences. This is because they are acquiring the language. They cannot speak it often in the beginning stages because they're still learning how to use it correctly, Alexis.
That is correct, Jenny. Would you please choose our next category?
Yes, I would like pedagogy for 300.
Pedagogy for 300. Thank you, Jenny.
Mm-hmm.
How can phonics be counterproductive? Carla.
Well, when there are too many rules are explicitly taught and they're just overly complex, it makes it difficult.
That is true, Carla. Correct.
I would like research for 300, please, Alexis.
Research for 300. How long does it take to acquire a second language? Jenny.
Well, it varies, Alexis. It takes some as little as a few months, but most need 2 to 4 years to carry on fluent conversation with native English speakers.
That is correct, Jenny. Would you please choose our next category?
Yes, I would like research for 400, please, Alexis.
Thank you, Jenny. Isn't it important to teach English early, since young children are best at language acquisition? Connie.
Yes, starting early is always a good idea, since full proficiency in a language takes several years to acquire. However, studies have shown that older students can do as well or better in language acquisition.
That is correct, Connie. Would you please choose our next category?
What is, give me a research for 500.
Research for 500. Do some children fail to develop proficiency in any language? Connie.
Yes, except in cases of developmental disability. Now, all children come equipped with fully functioning language acquisition devices. So,
Connie, that is correct. Thank you. Would you please choose our next category?
I choose assessment and accountability for 100.
Assessment and accountability for 100. Has the No Child Left Behind Act proven to be an effective way to hold students accountable in serving ELL?
Sorry. I'm sorry. No, it hasn't. One problem is that the law contradicts the spirit of the Lau versus Nichols. It fails to recognize the unique situation of ELLs, requiring them to meet the same targets for AYP, and in most cases to take the same standardized test as English background students.
That is correct, Carla. Would you please choose our next category?
I would like assessment and accountability for 200.
Assessment and accountability for 200. Even if English language achievement tests are inadequate for ELLs, what's the harm in using them? Jenny.
They're invalid and unreliable tests, Alexis, are worse than useless. So let's just get that right straight out there. They are demoralizing to teachers who know their students are being judged unfairly, and they represent false information.
Amen, sister.
That is correct. All right.
Yeah, we do.
It is now time for us to take a commercial break. We'll be back in 3 minutes, 3 seconds.
Girls, I really wish I was having so much trouble with knowing what to do with my English language learners in my class. You had that?
Yeah.
And then I found this book. And this book is called English Learners in American Classrooms.
Look at the author. I didn't know that James Crawford and Stephen Krashen wrote that book.
And what's really neat about it is it has 101 questions and 101 answers about everything you need to know to work with English language learners.
Are they all just in there all together, or are they divided up? How is
They're
it?
divided into sections, like if you wanted to know about assessment and accountability, you would have a section there to look. If you wanted to know what the research says, there's a section on research. It's a great book, and I'll share it with you
Well,
girls.
that sounds like something we just need to lay on our desk and have handy all
I
the
can't
time.
wait to get started.
I can't either.
Me neither.
All right, welcome back.
Thank you, Alexis.
All right, if memory serves me last, Jenny was our last person to answer. And Jenny, you will choose our next category.
Alexis, I'll take students for 300, please.
Students for 300. What are the dimensions of the ELL population? Connie.
The ELLs represent about 1 in 10 U.S. students today, and their numbers are growing rapidly, however.
Connie, that is correct. Would you please choose our next category?
I would like public opinion for 300, please.
Public opinion for 300. Do states require schools to provide any particular instructional program for ELLs? Carla.
Most of the states do not, but a few states like Texas and Illinois and New Jersey have enacted laws about this in 1970.
That is correct. Carla, would you please choose our next category?
I think I would like public opinion for 300, please.
Public opinion for 300. Carla, we just finished that question. Would you
I'm
please
so
choose
sorry.
again?
Let's try students for 400.
Students for 400. What challenges do increasing numbers of ELLs pose for public schools? Jenny.
Well, there are several challenges. Mobilizing adequate resources, finding appropriate materials, and dealing with community concerns, just to name a few. Also, recruiting and training sufficient numbers of qualified staff poses a big problem.
That is correct, Jenny. Would you please choose our next category?
Yes, I would like to have students for 400, please, Alexa.
Students for 400.
For 500.
500.
500. Let's just go all the way. Students for 5.
What is bilingual education? Connie.
Bilingual education is the use of a student's native language to accelerate English language development.
That is correct, Connie. Would you please choose our next category?
What is pedagogy for 400, please?
Pedagogy for 400. Are children in bilingual programs forbidden to read in English until they master reading in their native language? Jenny.
No, not at all, Alexis. There is no reason to hold ELLs back in developing English literacy.
That is correct. Jenny, would you please choose our next category?
Yes, I would like to have pedagogy for 500, please, Alexis.
Pedagogy for 500. What is second language instructional competence? Carla.
Well, SLIC refers to the level of language proficiency required to learn in English language classrooms.
That is correct, Carla. Would you please choose our next category?
I would like public opinion, please, for 400.
Public opinion for 400. Are schools responsible for educating undocumented immigrants? Connie.
Yes, they are. Under the Plyer versus Doe, a 1982 decision by the U.S. Supreme Court, public schools may not discriminate on the basis of immigration status.
That is correct, Connie. Would you please choose our next category?
I believe I would like public opinion for 500.
Public opinion for 500. In practice, what must school districts do to meet their obligations? Carla.
Well, there are 3 things they must do, Alexis. First, they must have programs for ELLs must be based on educational theory recognized as sound by experts. And resource personnel and practices must be reasonably calculated to implement the program effectively. And finally, the programs must be evaluated and, if necessary, restructured to ensure that language barriers are being overcome.
That is correct, Carla. Would you please choose our next category?
I would like assessment and accountability for 300.
Assessment and accountability for 300. Should we scrap testing altogether? Jenny?
Certainly not, certainly not. Only those tests should be used appropriately to serve the purposes for which they were designed.
That is correct, Jenny. Would you please choose our next category?
Yes, I would like assessment and accountability for 400, Alexis.
Assessment and accountability for 400. If not for high stakes purposes, how should tests for ELLs be used? Carla?
Well, they should be used to generate meaningful data that will assist educators in better serving our ELLs.
That is correct, Carla.
And our final question is assessment and accountability for 500.
All right, our final question, assessment and accountability for 500. What makes bilingual education so politically controversial? Connie?
Clearly, there is more at stake here than the debate, the best way to teach a second language. Okay, bilingual education raises a whole host of larger questions such as immigrant rights, responsibilities, the role of English in our society, and what it means to be an American.
That is correct, Connie.